flip charts and how I sometimes structure it at least. So to get started, if we're talking about layout of flip charts, it's often something that takes a lot of practice and from my point of view also just okay, it's not going to be perfect, it's definitely hand drawn, but that's also okay. And a lot of it I've come to realize just comes with doing it again and again and again. For instance, making banners like this. That is something that you get used to by doing it again and again. Back to muscle memory, as I also talked about with fonts. And I normally do something like this, so starting out with a headline and then just writing my initials on the bottom of the page so people know who to reach out to afterwards if they have anything. One of the reasons why I am using flip charts is that I am a quite lazy person, so I will... let me phrase it differently. If I were to do a PowerPoint, I would probably be able to create a PowerPoint quite fast, but there was also a risk of it becoming quite a wall of text because there's a lot of stuff I would like to have on the slide. So instead, when I do flip charts, I tend to have shorter sentences because I'm lazy, so I don't want to write more than needed. And in the same time, this also makes it easier for the participants to listen into what am I saying and then put their own words to it using probably some keywords that I have put on the flip chart. So one of my tips would be shorter sentences. And when we are writing, it can sometimes be difficult to realize. So the sentence I'm writing, how far will that go on the page? Will it be 1 line, 2 lines? Do I need to break a word in the middle? And what I have gotten used to is that it's actually okay. It doesn't need to be 1 line everything. It's okay to do it in 2 lines instead. And sometimes I'll make a small indent on line 2 to show that this belongs to this. Or I could sometimes do something like this to show that it belongs together, and I need to refill this pen briefly. So this also leads me to the next part. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult, at least with my handwriting, to figure out what belongs together. So I'm very fond of having text in boxes. And it can be speech bubbles like the one I just did. It can also be more post-it styles. So just having a curly corner like this. Okay. This one needs to be refilled. Anyway, you get the point. And I try not to, back to this shorter sentences, back to this wall of text, to leave extra space on my flip chart for whatever pops up, small notes, and also just to make it more easy for people to follow. And again, if they're taking notes, they can just add notes. If they're drawing what I'm drawing, then probably some more space on their piece of paper would be nice, because then they have place to add their notes. So I deliberately leave a lot of space on my flip charts. And when I then, for instance, I often have this corner free for some reason I have yet to find. So I often just do a simple little drawing like this, simply because it's just fun, and it adds a bit to the look and feel of these flip charts. And it doesn't need to be a masterpiece. It's definitely not. But then again, this is actually sufficient. And then just to end it, I'll often have some kind of other marker with color. that I then use to just circle everything in. If I don't have space down here, I either just stop it or I just... Okay, this is also not that nice. And then like this, and the same down here. Okay, I need to spend some time refilling my pens for sure. Anywho, and I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of this video that I had in fact drawn a lot of stuff beforehand to help me guide my layout. And for instance, I still have a line here that I have not drawn. I could have done that to separate it. Now it might be a bit more easy to see that I used a pencil. Normally I would use an even softer pencil, making it even more difficult to view, to see from afar. But in this way I can create a prototype of the layout, and I can write the text that I expect to put on the flip chart. And when I've then filled in the flip chart while I'm talking, before the break or in the break, I'll just take an eraser and erase all the stuff that I maybe ended up not using. In this way I'm also certain that if I have some important key points, that I have those captured, because I can read it when I'm close, but people further back in the room won't be able to read the small pencil drawing or pencil text. So that is some of the ways I'm structuring my flip charts, and I'm hoping that you will share how are you structuring your flip charts as well. That would be super awesome. And as always, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please let me know. That would be really, really nice. That's it. Have a super, super awesome weekend when you get to it, and Friday before that.